I'm rather incoherent, and the deck is Control Blood. It's pretty straightforward. We're going to grind our opponent out of the game, and this is the best deck in the game at grinding your opponent out with Alexander's Mograine and almost unlimited healing, such that it's actually able to grind out other control decks, like old Control Warrior. I would be so hyped about Blood Death Knight that I'd want to main the deck if it weren't for the existence of cards like Ghost Rider, because it means that if I decide to play Blood Death Knight as I'm doing now, I have to play Blood Death Knight Mirrors, and I can tell you now, the person who wins is going to be the person who discovers more cards like the Scourge and less cards like Grave Strength. It's going to be to the point that I think you just hard mulligan for Ghost Rider in that matchup. You hard mulligan for Alexandros and Sylvanas, you don't even attempt to play for tempo, because you'll never kill the opponent, and the guy who just unfortunately draws his early game and doesn't discover late game will lose the mirror, which is always an unpleasant sort of matchup when it's so dependent on random generation from specific cards. Aside from that, though, the deck looks very strong. It's the best control deck in the format that I've seen so far, and I want to give it a shot. Before we get into the games, though, if you haven't already subscribed, please head on down and do that. And while you're there, I wouldn't mind if you like the video. It really does help the channel grow, and I greatly appreciate it. Anyways, sorry for showing. Let's get into it. All right, first match is against Druid. This is one of the matchups where Druid can steal games pretty easily if they're running the Tony combo stuff. I don't think Druid is a great deck, but that's because of its matchups versus aggro. I don't punish them at all for the things that they can be punished by, right? Like, getting under them and killing them feels like something they're very weak to. This is the deck in the format that's the furthest from that. Right now, my opponent's worried because I could be Unholy or Frost, but the moment he sees Renathal, he's going to breathe a sigh of relief, be like, oh, all right, I'm good. We do have turn 1 Body Bagger, but I don't think this deck is even capable of stringing together an aggressive curve if it wanted to. Oh, he's the Renathal list. That might mean he's not doing Jailer combos. If you're doing Jailer stuff, you want a more consistent deck. In which case, I feel a lot better about the matchup. I still don't feel incredible, but I feel much better. Nothing on 1, nothing on 2 for me either, though. Chillfallen Baron on 3 is great, though. Ghost Rider on 5 is also fantastic. Do I want to play Patchwork on 7 or hold him for a while to try to hit combo pieces? It depends on what my opponent's been doing, right? If they've just played a Nourish, I probably don't Patchwork, because they probably... I don't know. We definitely play this now, and we'll think more about Patchwork as we get closer to it. Because we're assuming that they're the hero power package, because they have a lot of small minions that they haven't gotten out of their hand, that unless they've done something else with their mana, like just played a Nourish, I'm going to assume that there's stuff in their hand I can hit. Renathal is nothing to me. Tour Guide is pretty good here. The question is, do I actually want to use the hero power here or just hold on to it? Doesn't seem like there's a benefit to holding on to it. Not with this hand. And not in this matchup either, where I need to actually threaten... Like, this has been a curve that can actually hurt them, which is weird, because I don't have too many of this. We have Ghost Rider next turn. We can Sylvanas and just destroy a minion on 6. We'd like to infuse it, but it's not necessary. Stealing a Zoctaunt with this could be game-winning. Huh. What does that mean? Are these just the anti-aggro tools they've chosen? Or does this mean there's some sort of weird token deck? Natural Causes throws me off, but I don't know what that implies about their deck. Anyway, we're definitely playing Ghost Rider here, and then we're almost certainly hitting the 2-2. Because I don't think they're the Jailer, also because the other 2 options are just worse, I'm going to take Corpse Explosion. And we take the Scourge every single time, and we kill this to get a bigger board. The Arcanite Ripper is just an absolutely insane weapon. Like, I knew it was good. I didn't really fully understand how good it was. I knew it was going to be a good staple card, but I didn't quite understand. Like, this is the low roll. This is the worst case scenario, is it kills 2 minions and summons a 3/3. Due Process is annoying, but I mean, I think I have all the tools in my hand that I need to win the matchup anyway. You're Mill? Oh, so you're just a dead man walking. That's sad for you. So killing that's not actually helpful. Going wide and hitting him is. So I think I just play Screaming Banshee and go face to get the tokens. And he can kill my Screaming Banshee, I'm fine with that. Is there any way I can string together better plays? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I kill that, I'll be overdrawing much more. I mean, it'll die eventually anyway, right? But if I did play Asphyxiate, I don't have a good way to spend 4 mana. So it's just Screaming Banshee face. And now I get to find out whether or not Screaming Banshee summons something when it dies. I actually haven't had a game where Screaming Banshee came down and I didn't lose before I found out. So this turn, I'm going to exactly not overdraw unless he has a way to kill his Shellfish, which doesn't exactly seem good. It's not wild, right? Like, there's not enough spells in your deck that benefit the package, is there? You've got the Shellfish, and you've got Natural Process, or sorry, Dew Process. What else is there for Mill in Standard? I don't think there's support for this. He must know something I don't. That's the assumption I've got right now, but as far as I can tell, this is a Druid deck that was like, you know what, I lose versus aggro, so I'm just never going to win versus aggro. I'm going to embrace being dead there and give them cards. Because so far we've seen very little that implies he's good versus aggro. I guess he can just have a generally lower curve, but stuff like Natural Calls is because he's trying to vomit his hand out to avoid getting penalized. But still. There is a better chance of Planted Evidence hitting Dew Process, and he's got Solar Eclipse now, but that mills us at the same rate. Taking the taunts. Do you get a 3/3? I assume not. Oh my god, you do. That's a disgusting card. So Sylvanas needs 2 more cards to die. That's perfect. That's absolutely wonderful. Because now Sylvanas has transformed, and I don't have to deal with this shit. I should have been aware of that option last turn. I should have already been planning to do that. I was right in the general idea, let's just not deal with it and go face, but I wasn't aware of just how foolproof the plan was. Anyway, he's milling my cards. Oh no. What will I do with only 10 cards in hand? Like, this is fine. This literally doesn't impact the part where I'm killing him. That's the important part of this game. Don't care about that. Or that. Not even really about that. Now I can take that, I can patchwork him. And again, I don't care about anything happening on board. There's no way for him to clear. So I just play patchworking. Wait, how close to dead is he? 7, 10, 19? He's at 5 health. Unfortunately, no Muncher. Wait. No Muncher's lethal. Yeah. Because once he's down to 5, no Muncher would hit him instead of the minion. Good job, Mill Druid. Maybe you didn't know anything I don't after all. So I started this video off saying that Blood Control was the premier control deck and was like old school Control Warrior. But I also just had turn 9 lethal against that Control Mill Druid, right? That doesn't bode well for Mill Druid. And it's also very good for this deck. So far I've seen very little... Oh, wait. You mulligan for Ghost Rider and Chillfall and Baron against Blood. And that's the hardest part of the Blood Mirror, is if you mulligan for the other matchups, you lose. I think the other matchups might be favored enough that I can mulligan assuming he's Blood, especially because I've almost exclusively seen Blood Death Knights. Also, I'm going to go ahead and mute him in his hideous 3D portrait. Alright, that's great for me. Oh, and he doesn't know why it's good. Okay, so if you don't know, getting a 0-cost hero power is not good because it generates a corpse in addition to the Tour Guide. It's because it lets you kill a minion immediately after it happens. Or sorry, whenever you want, to trigger something like Contract Quarter by getting the body, or to kill it and get Nerubi and Vizier. That's why Tour Guide is good. If you just cash it in on phase immediately, that's terrible. Everything I just said is completely true. But I was too busy saying it to notice he played Hematurge, which requires you to spend 1 corpse, which he got by using that hero power. In the future, I now know, if they play Tour Guide hero power on 1, then there are 2 options. 1, like I just said, they could be bad at the game, or 2, they have Hematurge in hand. Hematurge in hand isn't something you play around, so it's just neat to know. But I should point out that this guy is not bad at the game. That was one of the acceptable uses, the other 2 being, as I said, Vizier and Contract Quarter. We have Blood Boil, so we're at no risk of dying. I don't need to coin this. I'd rather coin Ghost Rider next turn, so I'll just play this turn, it's fine. But obviously I'd rather draw that last turn, but it's fine. That's a good Discover effect. Doesn't really matter too much, but it is bad for me. What? My opponent is on a different level. I don't know what he's doing. If I have Construct Quarter value, do I take that instead of coining Ghost Rider? Well, I shouldn't have Contract Quarter value because there's no way he holds again, right? I don't understand what he's doing. Why not hit it or hit the other one? And what's happening? What does he know that I don't? Is that just the theme of today's episode? Well, unlike you, like, yeah, Arcanite Ripper kills this. That's fine. It's gonna kill something eventually. It should have already killed something.
This may just be my best song yet.
That's fine. I'll be doing the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I play this down to 7, up to 9. That's fine. And this matchup really does just come down to Ghost Riders, I feel like. I'm not optimistic at all that anything else matters. You just see which person gets higher value Discover effects. Oh, maybe I don't play... If this dies, I would overdraw one. I should have coined Ghost Rider to get the coin out of my hand, weirdly enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ghost Rider puts me to 9, that puts me to 10, and I lose a card. Astalor doesn't fix that. Like, Astalor Chill Fallen's overdrawing harder. So I am going to play this, and if I'm lucky, I'll hit a Horn of Winter somewhere in this. Blood Tap isn't great, but it gets it out of my hand. It makes my minions individually threatening. I think it's Blood Tap. I don't need corpses for anything in this deck. Not in this matchup. So I'm going to take the Blood Tap. These have not been high value, unfortunately. I'll do this just to get a cheap board. It dies too easily to certain things. Plague Strike doesn't seem good either. Regardless, it's where we're at. I'm not going to throw away the coin. I'm probably going to overdraw something, and if it's most of the cards in my deck, I won't care. So I know I said it's determined by value, but Sunwell is kind of terrible value. I'm not convinced that Sunwell is the sort of value that you should be planning around, because he could just very easily get several low-impact cards here. I guess also he could get high-impact cards that just win the game instantly. It seems very unlikely. I'm very interested to know what I'm burning. There's a lot of stuff in the lower curve that won't really matter. And then there's a lot of cards, particularly the second Ghost Rider and all of the cards above 5. Yeah, everything above 5 that's not an AoE, everything above 4 rather, that's not an AoE, is super valuable. That's such low value. Alright, so here's our random burn. We knew that was coming. We don't burn Asphyxiate. Burning Hematurge is unfortunate, but there's not a Blood Rune card specifically that wins the game. We don't actually need to play, what's it called? Blood Boil here. We can, it's fine. But we can also do Plague Strike, Astalor, and Blood Tap. I'm a fan of that, actually. We need to get some stuff out of our hand. Plague Strike here. Astalor this. And swap that out. We have a decently large Astalor. We have the other Astalor in hands. No patch, unfortunately for me, and hopefully his patch somehow like hits my Chill Fallen Baron, because it's probably hitting something very relevant here. My Soul Stealer is actually, I think, the least valuable card in my hand there. Why does he keep not hitting? Is that the secret of this matchup? You just want to summon a huge lifesteal undead much, much later? It's a thought. I don't know if it's a good thought, but it's definitely there. I can play this and coin the Blood Boil. Gonna be honest, I think it's better to play Alexandros and just use the Blood Boil stuff next turn without the coin. And I'll go face here, not that it matters very much. And I don't think I'm threatening lethal here at all. It's just I need cards out of my hand slowly over the course of time. Hard Run Obliterate. Doesn't seem terrible, but it seems like it's potentially very bad in the aggro matchup. Seems like Asphyxiate's the decidedly better version of that, and I don't think you have room for 4 of that effect. Thank you! I mean, I obviously would have preferred to get the Battle Cry, but I still get half of the draw. And then I hit Astalor the other 50% of the time. That would have been very bad. Dirty Rat's a really cool card. I do want to fit Dirty Rat into this deck. There's a card that I think would be much cooler in this. Mage Secret, huh? What do you think the odds are that the randomly generated card... If it were Objection, he'd have played it earlier, right? There's no way you don't play Objection the moment you draw it here. He spent so long not playing this to get a bigger undead, and then he didn't hit a minion, resulting in a smaller undead. What the hell? Oh wait, does he have lifesteal on that hit specifically because of the buff he had? He did, didn't he? Yeah, because it gave him lifesteal, he still got the bigger minion. Fair enough. I think it's just Blood Boil Arcanite Ripper here. I guess first we should Blood Boil and see if it actually goes off. It could be Counterspell. We can play around Counterspell with the coin. We Arcanite Ripper and Blood Boil. And I think we're going to cash in our last charge here. We're going to get through this earlier. Go face here. And kill Patchwork as well. I'm not lower health than I thought I was. Not quite sure where my health went. I really am not quite sure where my health went. It's fine. I still got 2 Vampiric Bloods, both no Munchers. There's plenty of health gain left in my deck. Hopefully I find it, though. I love ETC, but it's so often the case that I put ETC in my deck, I'm like, man, let's cut ETC for one of the 3 cards inside of him, Jesus. I would understand if he goes face here, because if I don't have health, like he knows I have Astalor though, so he knows I have some amount of health gain, it seems silly. I was about to say, that seems really wasteful. Like, I know it doesn't technically need to not be wasteful here. Let's do the Naga teachers first, or the school teachers rather. You didn't immediately play Objection? What did he do on those turns, I wonder, instead of play Objection? Because it doesn't seem like it was the correct call.
Who here can spell Zinjari? Anybody?
Unholy Frenzy seems like the choice here. For this reason.
Pick me! Pick me!
I'll be getting my draw in the end after all. Patchwork is very solid. I'm not going to cash this in because I'm pretty sure this game's going to go on for a very long time. I don't need face damage. You have no way to draw them. How long did the matchup have to be for this to be correct? This might be long enough. Trade here. Patchwork. I would love to patchwork after this to remove the possibility entirely, but I just need to patchwork now. Otherwise, I'm going to get killed by what's currently on board. We got his other Dirty Rat, who cares? What I need to know is what I got from his hands. A Soul Stealer. I think a Soul Stealer is good. And we also have both patchworked the enemy's Soul Stealer now. Although he could easily have second one in hands. I'm surprised at how out of steam we both feel. Oh, that's upsetting. Just hard running Smothering Starfish. It's good here. It denied me a whole draw. I might have to hit it. No, I don't have to hit shit. Do that, bank the free hero power. I'm gonna keep holding on to this Arcanite Ripper instead of taking the value trade there. It's not even a value trade, it's just a normal trade. But I feel like I need a much larger lifesteal minion than this, and I don't feel immediately pressured by the board. Asphyxiate can kill one large minion, no problem. Hammer of Wrath. Anything that draws cards here is fantastic, so that's not bad for him at all. Here I'm just jamming Astalor every time, right? That probably telegraphs Asphyxiate or Obliterate since he knows I have the Astalor. But counterpoint, what am I doing other than jamming Astalor? Yep. He has Corpse Explosion as well, so there's no point at all in attacking this turn. Mograine might just be grinding the game out in my favor because I have Corpse Explosion for repeated board clears. He doesn't have the mana to really play all of them anyway. I'll play Asphyxiate to get rid of the lifesteal. Screaming Banshee. Force him to have Soul Stealer or Corpse Explosion here. And then when he spends his turn doing that, he's getting ground out. Like, I know there are no Vampiric Bloods left in the deck. He's dead in 2 turns from Hero Power plus Mograine. I think we actually win this, despite how, like, I feel I didn't get great value here, and he clearly tried to counterattack the matchup, but Rivendare is so slow. Like, even in this matchup, we both have 20 cards left in deck. Rivendare's not happening. You have to have a way to tutor him out or a deck with an insanely high amount of draw for Rivendare to be a real backup win condition. And this will wipe my own board, unfortunately, so it's not super helpful for getting through. Human Turds, if you could give me some destruction effect here, I'd really appreciate it. That's not the one I was looking for. That's really not the effect I was looking for. I take Heart Strike, I trade in the 3/3, and I use my Hero Power to kill the 4/4. It's the best I've got. Unfortunate. We're still able to grind this out with Mograine, but him having specifically no Muncher, it's the only proactive lifesteal in the deck that he has left. That's painful. The second one could win in the game. I'm not sure what else is great here, because like clearing my board isn't actually great. That implies he does not have Corpse Explosions in hand. It's unfortunate that my hand is nothing but Corpse Explosion when I'm the one I had on board, but here we are. That's pretty good too. All right, never mind. I'm glad I have Corpse Explosion. I came around on it. So I think he's pretty dead there. I'm not gonna say he's dead, but I feel like he's dead. Also, I wish there was a way for me to spend these corpses that mattered. It's just sort of funny how many I have. If he has another Gnome Muncher, now I can kill it from hand, and I also don't have a board invested anymore, so I'm okay using Corpse Explosion as well. Arcanite Ripper would certainly be dangerous if I didn't have answers to all of this. I just lifesteal here, or Death Strike rather. I don't actually need to use Corpse Explosion. That's better now. What a grindy matchup, huh? Our opponent's theoretically not dead. They can easily top deck a Gnome Muncher or something, top deck a Discover effect into a heal effect, but I'm pretty sure we win. Entirely thanks to Mograine. So when I said at the start of this video, you just hard mulligan for Ghost Rider and Mograine, I should probably have added Patchwork to the list, but yeah. We won this entirely off the back of Alexandros. In a lot of matchups, Alexandros is kind of a bad card, but it's so core in the mirror, it seems. Wow, you hard run Ashbringer. Absolutely fuck off. What are you talking about? Well, we're still probably okay. I don't know why that's in your deck, though. Get the 3/3 by hitting his 1/1. I'm a 1-off lethal. Oh, it's at the end of my turn. In my head, Mograine goes off at the end of their turn. Because I'm so used to not being the Blood Death Knight. That was embarrassing that it took me that long to remember. I'm so used to it going off at the end of their turn. I wonder what I would cut from this deck if I wanted to fit a Dirty Rat in somewhere. Because it doesn't have many 2-drops. I know Dirty Rat on 2 is bad in a lot of matchups, so it's also good against aggro decks. Like against Outcast Demon Hunter, there's almost no downside. They're going to be getting that Vengeful Upper for 0 eventually anyway, who cares? Against Priest, do I hold Chillfallen Baron? Probably. This seems like even against Tempo Priest, their opening hands are pretty weak, and this increases my odds of hitting specifically Corpse Explosion, which is very important. This also, Death Strike here is just wonderful. It means that I have a clear answer to Heartthrob, which is a hard to answer card at 5 health for 3. All right, we're finally getting started. I'm Renathal, he's not. He's Shadow Priest. Holding Chillfallen Baron versus Shadow Priest is probably not the play. This is like the second Shadow Priest I've seen all expansion. Admittedly, it's also like the 5th Priest that I've seen. Oh, I don't have a corpse though. I wonder if it's ever worked to just slam this on 2 without a corpse. Probably not. Against this matchup, maybe. He's going to coin out something that statted 4/3 and Terrifying, and I'm not going to have a clear answer. If he doesn't do that, I feel like I'm pretty good. Like if he plays Incorporeal Corporeal here, then that would be a great Chillfallen Baron. Yeah, like I could never respond to that with anything that matter. Anyway, that just hits me for 5 eventually. No reason to Hematurge here. We have Death Strike for whatever he does next to heal back the damage from this guy, which is great. If he does nothing, which is highly unlikely, but if he does do nothing, what are we doing? Hero Power Hematurge. The game's a little bit confused about what my opponent's doing. Very interesting.
Run as fast as you can.
Would I be willing to just... Oh, Arcanite Ripper, huh? That's a reason to not play Hematurge so I can play this together on 5. This just feels fine. I can also Hematurge Hero Power. Probably better to do that. We're getting probably Soul Stealer here. The second Arcanite Ripper seems very unlikely. Now we can just play it out though, right? Like we're playing Arcanite Ripper, Hero Power next turn. We can have this cashed in and playing this one relatively soon. We're a ways off of Soul Stealer. I think we still take the Soul Stealer, even though we're a ways off. Also, I think maybe I was supposed to trade there first. This is a great example of why, to inform my decision making, because I think there's nothing I can get off Hematurge that I would really consider doing other than this. Like, I'd rather use the Hero Power than play Blood Strike, I think. Or Heart Strike, whatever the removal I just passed up on that could have kept my 2/2 alive. Because realistically, I want to cash in that 2/2. I want to draw the card. That's just 5 damage. Eventually, I don't have to kill it now. The 4/3 would like to be dead. There's a lot of Discovers here that can kill it. There's very few that are just outright bad. I can't play Ghost Rider. I'll just overdraw. I can play Arcanite Ripper, actually. That seems like the thing to do. I don't think I need to do anything other than Arcanite Ripper here. I have health gain coming. I promise. No Muncher at least is healing for 5. This will generate a health gain as well, and that Death Rattle gave me another charge on it, hilariously enough. I think we're in a good spot. I think this is a hard counter matchup for the Undead Priest. I'm ready to be proven wrong, but without the 1-drop, the Attendant, I don't think they have the burn to close out this matchup. All right, we're coining out a 6-drop. Oh yeah, just slap Svalna on the end of the curve. It'll be great. Why not? Every time I see Svalna just randomly thrown into an aggro deck, I briefly cringe. I don't like it at all. So Svalna does turn off No Muncher on this turn. What else can I do? I can Death Strike it and Hero Power. I can Death Strike it and Tour Guide. I would rather do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Svalna is an undead. So Shadow Word and Death is online. But I can make him play it by doing this attack. And that's actually worth something. If he just spends the turn playing Shadow Word and Death and not progressing his board, I feel very comfortable, because I'm just going to slam Mograine or No Muncher and secure the win. And if he doesn't do that, then I get a 4/4 lifesteal, and that's incredible. So either way, this is the correct play. It just puts him in a really bad position. There's a Shadow Word and Death, but we're completely fine with this. Alexandros is worse for him in terms of winning the game, and No Muncher makes it clear that I win. If I play No Muncher, he doesn't have an answer. Screaming Banshee ends the game. That is something worth thinking about. And next turn I would have Screaming Banshee into Vizier if he does have it, so this seems like it's really good. Mograine does almost certainly win the game, but I feel like this is even more locked in, because there are very, very few answers to a 5/6 in that deck. Like, I know he doesn't run the Light It Burns, and now he's just Discovering and hoping. And admittedly, Discover and Hope can survive a little bit here, but it'll still be his whole turn, and I can play Alexandros the next turn. None of that wins. So what we do is we play Screaming Banshee, and the rest of it really doesn't matter at this point. Let's just do this part first. And I'll play this, because the only way I lose is if I somehow need to heal here. I'll take the Heart Strike to put some nails in the coffin. Get another 5/5 off No Muncher thanks to the Screaming Banshee. Oh, it's brutal. The second Shadow Word and Death doesn't even do it. It only puts these to 2 and 1, so I'll have to Hero Power this. I'll have 2 5/1s. He's at 11 health. That's dead on board. Man, that is a hard counter matchup, isn't it? I'm going to be making a video at the end of the week. I'll probably air it a little bit early about the decks that I've done the best with in this testing phase. Blood Death Knight's getting a very easy spot there. These have been some convincing decks. He's dead on board. I don't even need the 6 damage I have from Hero Power in the second No Muncher attack. That was agony. That hurt to watch. I had Control and Burn and Discover for days. Alright, we've got a Priest. I did not know the skin was in the game. Body Bagger on 1, Baron on 2. Or sorry, Baron on 3. And that's a good enough curve, is 1 into 2 into 3. I know Hero Power on 2 sucks, but it's good enough. Is my opponent Shadow again? Alright. This seemed like a very good matchup last time. Let's put it to the test. He coins out a 2-drop. I'm probably happy no matter what it is to see the coin getting burnt there. Unless it's the new 2-drop from Corset. That thing I can't deal with immediately. That's fine, though. I was already planning on Hero Powering, so I'm completely okay with this. Is that from my hand or from my deck? Your deck. Good. That means he doesn't have a 1 in 4 at Arcanite Ripper or Chillfall and Baron. Like, if it's from my hand, Corpse Explosion's the only bad hit for him. Coin without follow-up. That bodes well for me. Second Corpse Explosion. I've got the corpses for the first, because I only need 3 corpses to clear, probably. Most of his deck has 3 health. I'm going to take the Arcanite Ripper here. It's up to a 3/3 lifesteal already. The card's just incredible. Next time we have Chillfall and Hero Power. After that we have No Muncher and Alexandros. Amalgam of the Deep. Is that normal? I don't know if that's normal. It definitely wasn't normal in the past. I wonder if it's normal in the new decks. So I don't think I would Tour Guide here since it only gets me a 1/1. Corpse Explosion clears here. It's very wasteful. The alternative is hits. It's hit, go face. Chillfall and Hero Power. Send in the Hero Power to the 3/4. I think that's fine. Let's see if we draw something better off the Chill Fall, and I'm not sure what it could even hit that would matter. It's not Blood Boil. So yeah, I'm down with all of this. And I'll send this in here to make it easier to clear it out in the near future. Shadow Warrior and Death spends his whole turn. It deals 7, putting me down to 17. And then No Muncher comes down, swings the board, and life total's back in my favor. And he has to deal with No Muncher on his turn, which requires more than his hero power. And then Alexandros comes down afterwards to seal the game. I feel very comfortable here yet again. That's a good card to steal from my deck and an Undead Priest. Let's see if it can find a way out of this. The Light It Burns would be very good. Cannibalize. Still quite good. Do I just No Muncher here? Or have I been given sufficient reason to do other stuff? I can a Tour Guide, Ghost Rider. It feels like No Muncher can do more than this, right? That's the issue. It's gotta just be No Muncher, right? This also kills with the 3/4 though. Like that's the issue, it's not actually very good. Yeah, I'm gonna get Construct Quarter down now because it's gonna get continual value over the next few turns. I'm gonna put this down as well. No, I'm not. And I'm gonna kill his 2/4 instead of his 3/4 so that the hero power doesn't clear my 4/3. And again, if he plays Shadow Warrior and Death here, I just don't care. It's not a good tempo turn for him. It would use up his whole turn, and with only a 3/4 on board, I would feel much better. Shouldn't he have played the Nerubian Vizier from his own deck first to hide the information about what he had discovered to keep me guessing? That is a good discover. But it still resulted in him using his Nerubian Vizier to answer this. Man, that's a lot of Viziers, ain't it? Corpse Explosion, I think you're up. Corpse Explosion, you're up. Whoa, why would you trade? I guess to protect the 2/3? That's incorrect, though. So if I'm playing Corpse Explosion, what else am I doing? Hero Power. Hero Power on its own isn't that good, but if Tour Guide comes down instead, I have a free activation of this next turn. And there's no merit to anything else that I can think of. Blood Boil's not good enough on this board. Corpse Explosion. And drop down Tour Guide and end my turn. I still have No Muncher in hand. I've got a second Corpse Explosion with 4 corpses loading it already. I have Soul Stealer. Soul Stealer, welcome aboard. That is a very... Oh, you didn't actually run that. You discovered this. Off of what? Oh, Amalgam of the Deep. Nice. Anyways, I don't want to deal with that shit. And I'll save this for the next turn. Like, I don't need a 4/5 on board. It's just not important. I could have used this now to get this recharging sooner, but I'm a control deck. I don't need to be putting on pressure here. The fact that we're going into turn 9 is the pressure. It's not anything on my board. In terms of mana expenditure, can I get Ghost Rider off next turn? I would need a 4-drop, and that's not possible. It looks like I'll be using it on 10 in conjunction with Blood Boil, Corpse Explosion, or Screaming Banshee. Next turn, we do have No Muncher Nerubian, which is sick. That's fine.
Our gift of the arcane enlightens us.
So we finally have the absolutely fantastic turn we were looking for with the No Muncher. This comes down. We're going to use hero power to kill the Astaroth. Astaroth? Come on, Nick. You can do this. Astalor. This is an easy Death Strike. All that matters is staying alive. He's going to be playing a Death Strike target very soon. No Muncher comes down. Hero power comes down and goes face. And then we turn this into a 4/5. Kill this, and the No Muncher goes face. We heal for 5. We close out the game. The life total finally shifted in our turn advantage. It's just bad for him. This does not look like a good matchup for the Priest. This is very much one of those games where it's like, yeah, the control deck just put its boot on the aggro deck's throat, and that was the whole matchup. It was sad to watch. I'm almost always on the other side of this. And now I'm on this side, it's very nice. It's like, oh, this is wonderful by comparison. We can trade 2/4 and 4/3N and play Blood Boil and Screaming Banshee. It's incredible. This is actually incredible. I would like you to leave my game. Oh god, it's disgusting. It's so much. Oh, Blood Boil activates in the wrong order. I still get a lot of value though. Oh, it comes in as 1 minion if they all go simultaneously? I was thinking that was a specific interaction with Blood Boil, but it actually counted the Blood Boil attacks and the No Muncher attacks separately, or together, even though they're not even the same instance, just all at the same time. That's good. It means Blood Boil doesn't just fill your board and do nothing. But also, it's not how I thought it would work at all, because those are separate cards entirely. Alright, we're up against Warlock. Against Warlock, if they're doing Mal'Ganis stuff, I should be favored thanks to Patchworks and Soul Stealers. Against any sort of imp deck, unless they draw the nuts, I should be favored. My early curve is bad enough that I think I just hold a school teacher. Like, as crazy as that sounds, it's my single best 4-drop by a mile. I have 2 3-drops, no 2-drops unless I hit a 1-drop, because this isn't getting played since I didn't hit Body Bagger, right? Or Tour Guide. I will say hello to you, but after that, you have to be muted. Also, Renethal, you kind of cut her off there, dude. Do you coin hero power to get Hematurge off? No, you save the coin for school teacher on 3, probably. Or you don't use it at all.
And now, the premiere act, me!
Yeah, it doesn't look like coining Hematurge would have been great here. Anyway, is this going to be the game where I just get run over because he plays minions and I don't? Maybe. No, I still got coin school teacher. And I have Corpse Explosion and Vampiric Blood. I'm fine. I don't like that. It's very bad for me. We're coining this, though. Horn of Winter would let me hero power something. Oh, no, it wouldn't, because this is going on a 1-1. I don't actually get this card. What am I talking about? Frost Strike, probably. I could do Hematurge, do the dude with Horn of Winter. I'd go up to 3 mana. It wouldn't really matter. It's definitely Frost Strike. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not making a mistake with what I picked there. So, Impending Catastrophe is rough here. Vile Library is rough here. Nothing's Impossible is rough here. Actually, Nothing's Impossible is one of the least bad ones. There we go. There's Impending Catastrophe. The reason that's not a huge deal is just because Corpse Explosion still kills them all relatively easily. So we're going to take the Frost Strike here initially, because it has the ability to get a card that solves all of this very handily. It's not this. I think I take Frost Queen Syndragosa for the possibility that it gets very large minions in the future. Might have Menethil coming down next turn. Doesn't seem likely. I'll be playing Corpse Explosion. I'm already playing a minion this turn. Acolyte of Death isn't relevant, so Syndragosa probably. We're going to take another Discover here. Noxious Cadaver is great. Do I go through the first level of the Imp just to have done it? Yeah. And we kill it up. We're just doing the best we can to control this board, getting minions and bodies on board so that our Corpse Explosion actually goes off. I would really have liked to have a Blood Boil here. It's a shame I don't. Blood Boil feels a lot more backbreaking. I wonder if I agree with that. Because if he had buffed one of these and killed the 4-3, it would protect his Gangam a lot. We don't have an Undead on board. Oh wait, yeah we do. Here we go. It's not a good sack, but I can sack it. It won't fix anything though. We have 4 corpses, so if I trade in, everything dies. All right, done. If I'm wrong about this, it'll be very embarrassing. I have to watch a lot of animations before it gets finished, though. Oh, he's got a single 1/1 left. Forgot about the Gangamp's final health, but honestly, I don't know if I care about that. I mean, I probably should have just killed it, right? Like, I could have just traded in the 1/2. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what I said when I was talking about the Imp deck, right? The deck is trash. But if, like, you high roll, if you play specifically turn 3 Fiendish Circle into Nothing's Impossible Impending Catastrophe into anything into Imp King, like, if you get the best curve, the deck still works. Anyway, I'm just dead, right? 9, 11, so fucking much damage. I have no corpses to gain health with his. Yep, that's just a death. The deck's still bad. High rolls don't change that. I still firmly believe that Imp Warlock is just not actually top tier. It might be better than I'm giving it credit for, though. Even as I say that, like, he got the best curve possible into turn 6 Rafam that had been charged. I don't think so. I genuinely just don't have any faith in that deck. It's like, it's not Inner Fire Priest. It's so much better than Inner Fire Priest, but it's in the same ballpark of decks that look crazy when they line up everything and decks that really just are not that good without it. It's so much better than Inner Fire Priest, but I cannot shake that feeling every time I watch that deck get played or every time I play it. Anyway, I'm obviously just salty I'm losing on both sides of the matchup, right? It might be pure copium. That'll be it for today for Control Blood. It has a few really, really efficient tools for stabilizing with Screaming Banshee, Gnome Muncher, and what's it called? Where's it at? Arcanite Ripper. There are so many 3-drops in the deck. It has such great tools for anti-aggro that it can just nail that coffin shut super easily. It's very hard for a deck to get a good enough curve to get under XL Blood. It's just a very strong deck. The mirror match makes me so sad because there are such high impact spells and both of you are randomly discovering several of them that it makes the game a lot less competitive and a lot more casino than it should be for a control mirror. Like, I remember the good old days of like Handlock and Freeze Mage where you know exactly what each other has and exactly how your tools line up and what you can and can't waste. In this mirror matchup, it's just like, haha, I play Ghost Rider. Hope he does something. And I hate that to death. But every other part of this deck is really good. And having a random mirror match is unfortunate, but it doesn't make the deck worse because its win rate stays the same if you're losing to another Blood Death Knight. I like the deck. It's really strong. I want to find a way to build this differently and fit Dirty Rat because I just love the card. Pulling things out like Rafam, pulling things out like any combo card ahead of time can just absolutely brick a deck that would otherwise have a good win condition. You have so many turns where you just play Dirty Rat and it doesn't even matter what comes out if you have Corpse Explosion in hand, right? It seems like a fantastic card in the deck and probably deserves a spot. Aside from that, though, I have like no other criticism of the deck. Probably worth cutting Death Strike. Maybe worth cutting Death Strike. Death Strike was good. It killed his Fauna and healed me for 6 in an aggro matchup. Like, that's obviously good. It's close to cuttable. It's one of the weaker cards in the deck, but the deck's very strong, and I'm just rambling here, so I'm going to call the video now. I've been rather incoherent. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. All that stuff really does help the channel grow, and I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one.